Salutations guys, this is a very excited Dante Solar Blood with Friday's Resource Pack Roundup. That's right, let's get right on with the show. And here we are, we have the Doctor 1.6.2. Yes, it's a Doctor Who fan pack. Let's start where we normally do, with the brick ship house here. Now you can see the wooden plank, the jungle wood planks here, looking lovely mahogany with wood grey. Do look slightly orange for my taste, but I can live with that. It's better than the pink. The redstone brick, the stone red bricks have turned into an orangey colour with a lovely black border or corner of bricks there, although that doesn't carry on with the steps, so they do stand out a bit. Now, carrying on into the main building itself through our wooden doors, and you can tell they're wooden doors because of the St. John's ambulance sticker, which you'll find on the TARDIS itself. Now we have, as far as I can tell, a custom-made clock and a custom-made compass, although I think the clock is more custom-made than the compass. They do look quite different to each other. Going through the machines, we have dispenser, dropper, hopper, and furnace. Although if we go into the furnace, you can see the UI is made to look like the TARDIS, but it is a bit of a mess. We have the word furnace over the police box symbol, which makes it kind of unreadable. But you know, there's so much in this pack. Isn't that right, Chris? The cauldron itself has a lovely, subtle animation there. The jukebox looks very antique, something you might find on the 7th Doctor's TARDIS, Sylvester McCoy. Now, this is the trap chest. Now, it has a bright red outside. Go inside. The UI actually works, the interface works with this, because the chest is on the left. And if you look, the plate inside is blank brown. Going to the regular chest, again, this is the same red, I have double checked. Open it up, same UI and same brown inside. There is no difference between these two chests as far as I can tell. Now, if I am wrong, please let me know. But I have had a good look over and over. I can't tell the difference. Now let's tune up our sonic screwdrivers on our note block with that same lovely antique fleur-de-lis pattern there. The end chest are looking gorgeous with what looks might be the Eye of Harmony poking out there. Very nice. We have a duck-faced 6th Doctor looking over our anvils here. Ridiculously shiny even when cracked. Our crafting table here, looking okay, looking something more like you'd find in a car boot cell. Interface, as you'd expect. Now, talking about interfaces, the brewing stand is a mess. There's nothing really showing where anything goes, and again, you can't read the word brewing stand because they put it in the center there. Enchanting table, looking lovely. I like the dark blue and white matching with the TARDIS theme. And before we head out, let's have a look at the beds now. I do normally check whether you can make one big bed. It doesn't really work here because there's a pattern that cuts off there, doesn't carry on. It's a bit too busy. It's not a major problem, particularly if you are a big Doctor Who fan, because when does a Doctor ever sleep? Okay, heading over to the animals, we have Sebastian. Hello, Sebastian. Oh wow, let me just check. It's K9! How you doing, buddy? Affirmative. You, okay? Affirmative. Can you see anything else? Affirmative, Master. I'll take that as red. But yeah, you have the red sensor eyes, the radar dishes. That is awesome. And Alita is just a normal cat. Who wants a normal cat? I hate you when you're sleeping. Not really, I love you, Alita. Now, heading over to our NPC. It's Matt Smith. Gah! Look forward to that on this Christmas. Well, then next time he'll regenerate. Heading into the prison through our metal doors. You can tell these are metal now because there's no St. John's ambulance sticker. We have our creepers here. Now, there are several different creepers, but you will notice the most notable one is the Dalek creeper. This is such a fitting skin for the creeper. The way it glides around, the way it's just plain evil. We have a single skeleton here. If we knock him out of the way, oh, You can see he is one of the dead astronauts from Silence in the Library. That's it. Sorry for the blank there. It is getting rather late here at the moment. Now, if we spawn some zombies in, you can have a look. They are very much, "Are you my mummy?" with the gas masks on their face, although they really are after those NPCs today. Talking of NPCs, we have a lot of different ones there. I don't recognise all these characters. I think we have Clara there. I think this is actually Billy Piper or Rose Tyler. Not sure who that is. We have our witch here. Now, unless this is Amy Pond, that J.K. Rowling? Please tell me in the comments, who is this witch? I don't recognise it at this time of night. And we have our spider from space being looked after by her, trying to trade me an emerald. How you doing? Now, with any good fan pack, we have lots of pictures. We have the, well, first three doctors here. We have Pertwee, Troughton, and the first doctor. That's a cop-out. Amy, a lot of different assistants there. And, of course, River Song. It is a bit strange how these packs do maybe have too many portraits and not enough other things to distract you. Heading up a very basic ladder. What flavour is slime today? Lime again. And as far as I can tell, this is one of the only pictures which isn't a face. A lovely portrait of the inside of David Tennant's TARDIS, I believe. Heading out, we'll have a look at the mobs. And although they could have skimped here, the mobs are looking delightful. We have our mushrooms here. Now, they have the lovely fairy tale mushrooms on top, but the faces disturb me. The eyes are just too high up. They kind of look either stoned or a bit too serious. What's with a long face? We have our chickens here, regular apple in multiple flavours. And the pigs all do look the same, and it's not because I'm piggist, I have checked. All the sheep do have that same surprise from behind look. What has happened to you? What have you seen, or what snuck up on you? We have a random mob of cows. We have the slightly stoned, slightly upset looking. We have the evil eyes of darkness look. Squid has an eyeball up its bum. It will not come close enough for me to study. And on to the fruit and veg. Now, we have maybe too much of a smiley face on our pumpkins there, but hey, can you ever be too smiley? The melons there are regular melons, although they do look slightly too shiny on top. They've been tampered with. Skipping the trees for now, we'll go straight to our technology. Now, here we have our sticky piston with a good old gloop of glue on top. Up and down. A regular piston, as with the other, but, well, glueless. Not testing the TNT out today, but our redstone lamp. Very simple. No real animation, but I can kind of see why. I'll maybe discuss that later. And, well, I'm guessing this should be the lamp on top of the TARDIS. We hop inside, and it's just a regular untouched beam. So, hopping down, we'll go to the Cave of Wonders. The wood itself, just a regular wooden crosshatch texture. Very, very simple bricks, and as you can see, coal block, and of course the regular ores. Now, I will say the gold has been turned into the walls of David Tennant's TARDIS, so we have that lovely circular pattern. Now, you can make either a modern TARDIS or a 1960s, 1970s TARDIS. I'll show you a bit later. Let's head up. So, onto the trees. Now, the leaves themselves are all much of a muchness. You can see slight changes in the textures, but not enough to really note too much comment. Although there is the fade from forest to desert on all of the leaves. Now, this is the oak, a slightly pinkish, purplish colour. Just a standard wood with that same grain going through. Now, oddly enough, the spruce is actually a lighter colour, but again, has just a regular wood colour with a grain going through. Slightly more reddish accents there, but it is unusual you have a lighter wood. The jungle tree, of course, has a ridiculously dark orange mahogany look to it. Now, the strange thing here, we have our birch tree. Not really as many dark speckles as you'd expect for a birch. We have our light wood, which looks more kind of like a sand. And look, the birch heart slab is some sort of grate. I'm sure this would look good as the floor on the TARDIS, but it looks a bit odd with the rest of the wood there. Now I'm going to head over and have a look at the water, and it's a lovely plain water. Nothing too special. We have a lovely bright magma. Very light and dark. Very bright and very hot. Now for our reed and cactus fans. Cop a load of that. Oh, look at that pig stretching out by the cactus. Now we've got not too much more to do here, so let's go to the nether. And here we are in the nether with, oh my goodness, what is going on with those ghasts? Now I'm a big Doctor Who fan, but I can't remember the giant cats floating around. It is surreal in here. Again, if anybody knows where these giant floating cats fit into Doctor Who texture pack, please let me know. Over here we have our hot blazes with their burning red eyes. Slightly more standard magma cube, but of course our zombie pigmen are Sontarans. There's a regular sized one over there and a tall one there. Sontar-ha! Sontar-ha! Very nice. Now looking at the bricks, you can see the standard netherrack here, slightly lighter colour, more of a brick. Nether brick here, glowing in the middle, but more like the regular red brick you're used to seeing. Strangely enough, the nether quartz ore seems to have been placed on purpose. It does stand out a lot. And as I was saying, if you want to make yourself a original 1960s TARDIS, here are the blocks to do it with the lit block, the dark block, and, well, just regular quartz up there. Oh my god, this is a crime! Our soul sand has 0 soul. In fact, it just looks like red dirt. Please, guys, soul sand has got to have some soul. Finally, the glowstone. Now, this does look rather plain for glowstone, but I can kind of see why. If you're going to be building yourself one of the white TARDISes, you like to have lots of this white block, and too much pattern will make it look strange. Let's head up into the nether and see how it all comes together. Okay, here we are with... is that a wither skeleton? That's a dead skeleton. Anyway, having a look, you can see how it all comes together. I think the glowstone, the netherrack, and the netherbrick do clash maybe a bit too much. Hello? Who's a nice kitty? It's not really my thing. Some guys out there might look the way it looks together, but you know, I think maybe this is more of a recording pack. So if you specifically want to record something to do with Doctor Who, this would be right for you. But I don't think this is an everyday use texture pack. And for our Torch fans, cool, look at that. You know who you are. You're loving it. So as I said, I think this is more of a pack for people who specifically want to record something to do with Doctor Who, not for an everyday kind of use. And I'll tell you why when we've got back to the Justice area. And here we are, back to the Judgment area. Now, jumping up here, you can see the cakes don't look much nicer than the table they're on. Very solid, very brown, very, well, wooden looking. Jumping to the Ender Stronghold, it's as an Ender Stronghold should look. Lovely looking brick with plain iron bars. Now, hopping up on top of the Ender Portal here, I'm guessing these are probably Eyes of Harmony again on a very clean, futuristic, very lovely looking Enderstone. I must admit, this is a really nice part of the pack here. Sponge does look very spongy, wool does look very woolly. I think that's really all we need to see for this pack, so let's head over and get some thoughts. Well, this is a very nice pack. I think some tweaks could be made to the UI to make a really good pack. As I said, some of the things don't really work as an everyday pack, such as all of the doors being TARDIS doors. I know why they've done it, so you can build a TARDIS, but you know, sometimes you're gonna want a door. So while this is a great recording pack, maybe not everyday pack. You know what? TTFN. Ta-ta for now. See you later. Bye-bye.